Well, already we're seeing that Camille support banned away for a while, so maybe something coming through in the scrims that is giving a little bit of info across. But either way, the respect given towards Guigo as well with the Cassante, but Orianna up and available, the Varus up and available. They have been two of the main focuses coming into these drafts.
Also going to be really interesting, we obviously touched on Isles, what style he was going to be playing, but even more so for JoJo. JoJo played almost no engaged supports, throughout this split. Obviously he has throughout his career, but when you're looking at his most played, it is just pretty much all in shaders across the board with a couple of games in there of that Karma, and I think that's why we saw the Seraphine, the Bard being banned out, and it is going to be a first pick Karma here. So looking for that lane dominance.
Yeah, even when there was the engaged meta support, or support meta for the regions, it was still going towards those Enchanter supports. So definitely something that JoJo likes is Dhokla. Doing a bit of a shout out. Loves the hover the Teemo. But yeah, I still think that that is going to be the focus for FURIA coming into this, as the Jayce immediately going to be taken for, I imagine, Dhokla in that top lane, trying to get some push and control against Guigo, who does tend to go towards those more tank-oriented picks.
Yeah, so they're going to take away the Ezreal, take the Jayce, and move already towards a poke comp. You can already see what is shaping up here. The Jayce definitely can go both mid and top, but we are absolutely expecting it to be played there by Dhokla. Saint can pilot it if they feel like it's a good flex, they'll do it, but we're expecting it to be up there in the top lane. It does make sense because you're expecting Guigo to play that more defensive style. They banned out the Cassante. They know he's probably going to go Ambessa or tanks, and now denying that Ezreal, they can look to try to play poke themselves. Maybe something like the Neeko, I think I could see here on a 3 if they want to play that kind of lane dominant style. And there
you
it
go.
is.
Yep, definitely trying to get control there. And I think also something that works well with, if you've got multiple options to poke, having something that then is enabled when teams trying to jump in on top of you, like a Neeko, works incredibly well. I think we even saw T1 piloting something like the Cassiopeia in the mid lane to kind of facilitate that as well. So you have multiple different styles, but as we talked about, tank for Guigo in the top lane. I'm now curious what Tatu and Tutsz want to try and take as this mid jungle though, because I imagine jungle ban's going to be leveraged towards Tatu. They just try and get him a little bit more uncomfortable.
Yeah, so there's going to be Lee Sin taken away. And we have parity in the draft, right? So both teams looking for their mid laner as well as their jungler, unless we're doing some sort of weird flex. Of course, there is possibilities, but we are expecting that we have seen the top lane as well as both bot laners coming through. Trundle to me always says, I want to play Xin Zhao, and that is kind of one of those potential bans. And also
does suck if you're Sion. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
But I do agree. I think the Xin Zhao has been something that's incredibly strong, honestly, for both sides, but definitely more towards Tatu. It's his most played champion.
Yep.
And when you've got this kind of Karma, Jhin, can try and look for pushing that bottom side, the Karma and the Xin Zhao just sync so well together for looking for invades, for trying to play around the map in early skirmishes. And we already talked about it. That's kind of the style that FURIA has gone to. So I imagine that's going to be the case. And then still, I mean, the Orianna up and available, that could work for Tutsz, but he's also been more interested in having some of these like roaming styles like the TF, the Ryze, the Galio have kind of been his focus.
It is absolutely true, and I think that LYON are kind of saying, like, I dare you, because Akali is up, and those melee champions can be a real specialty for Saint. That is his most played. His 3 most played are all melee champions, throughout the split, the Yone, the Akali, the Sylas. He will play the control mages. He's good at those as well. But I think that LYON are comfortable. And the question is, will they be taking away one of those more standard control mages here? As they are going to have to be blind in some stuff.
Looks like it's going to be the Jarvan, yeah, immediately locked in. I was thinking either Wukong or Jarvan, essentially like having someone that's very strong in team fights, can play that engage tool to follow up alongside the Neeko is going to be great, and Jarvan kind of enabling that long range engage to follow up after poke has been done, but still, I think you've got options here as Tatu as you want to start moving on.
Yeah, and Tatu is someone who absolutely will cook. He's played Nard jungle, he has played the Nasus jungle, he plays Zehen, he plays Skarner, he plays Olaf, he plays all kinds of stuff.
It's crazy.
So, he's not going to be limited whatsoever, and we just kind of have to see how standard do you want to be here. This is probably going to be an Orianna, I feel like, with an Naafiri coming through, but instead, no, it is going to be the Ryze. So I was thinking that they might have gone for that Naafiri-Orianna combo, but potentially nervous about some of the answers that could be available.
Yeah, I wasn't even sure if they wanted to go towards the Ahri, just trying to have something with a bit of mobility against that J4 in the mid lane, because you do the options now to try and set up for some of these plays, and Saint going to be happy to get the Orianna on this last pick, because it's such a strong mid laner still despite the nerfs. And look at the combos you have, like the team fight online is disgusting.
It absolutely is. You're looking at a lot of low mobility champions, the Karma, the Jhin, the Ryze. It is instead going to be the Syndra, so playing more for that 1v1 matchup. Syndra definitely something that is rising in priority here at MSI. We've seen it come out a couple times. Cap's even got a penta on it. We've seen it banned out a couple times. So it's something that is getting a little bit more popular. Definitely a lot of ability to fish for poke here from the Lion side when you're thinking about fishing with Scatter of the Week, Shock Blast, Ezreal Qs. Whereas on the side of FURIA, I really think they want that more committed fight.
Yeah, I think you got a lot of space buying tools with the Syndra and the Neeko. Also an incredibly strong mid jungle for LYON to try and play around. Like we talked about the lack of mobility for the Ryze, so maybe you can look for some plays early around that mid lane. And as you say, for FURIA, I think it is about trying to get up close and personal. But even when you get up close and personal, I'm still a little nervous for FURIA. So this to me says they need to get the ball rolling early, especially around Tatu, and see if he can then start finding these picks around the map.
Yeah, definitely a lot of threats on the Lion side. It's going to be exciting to see how this game 1 goes. Something I'm always watching out for with Tatu is what is the level 1 game plan. If he feels they can get an edge somewhere, he is not afraid to invade. He's not afraid to do, one camp in to meet your opponent on their camp. He will go for aggressive plays, and they will craft their entire early game around these setups. Sometimes even you'll see his solo laners are going to be sacrificing their ways, sacrificing their lanes to actually play with Tatu. He really is the engine of the team, and I think that is something that can be said of both of these two rosters.
Yeah, I think this is where, again, like having stuff like the Karma to try and help sync with you in the early stage is going to be very nice, but we'll have to see as it starts to teeter in towards game number 1 of what I expect to be an absolute banger of a series between the Americas teams.
There we go. Like I said, they're ready to scrap here already at level 1. We are on to the Rift, game 1 here. Kicking off, it's an All-Americas affair, CB LOL versus the LCS, as JoJo does not have his mantra. Remember, he had already used that, so LYON going to take this very aggressive trade. They get the barrier out. The mantra was spent in the level 1 trade mid, which I think prompted Isles and Berserker to say, you do not get to walk back here for free. Yeah, even investing the exhaust to just make sure they could get the favorable side of the trade. So now both barrier and heal gone makes it a little bit more difficult for FURIA to kind of hope for that control on this bottom side of the map. And already Berserker starting to push in effectively. And I think Berserker has been such a key part of LYON as well. He's looked exceptional on the Ezreal. So if you can get him into a decent spot, he's more than capable of carrying a game. It absolutely is. And Vendetta is Riftbound's upcoming set, arriving July 31st. And it is all about the rivalries that have shaped Runeterra, a few of which have changed the future of Runeterra, quite like Jayce and Victor. And today we are revealing one half of that iconic conflict.
Yeah, and I think Dhokla's going to have a decent time in this top lane on the Jayce, to be honest. Push already there. And you got the junglers both junglers passing towards this top side. So I expect Inspire to try and cover for him at least a little bit in the early stages. And that was kind of what we saw, that early invade to get the vision, to make sure that Dhokla can get that early control. But at the get-go, I mean, LYON, this is kind of what you want, right? Like, push across all 3 lanes. You're not really giving a huge amount to Tatu, but he may take it anyway as he's hopped over the wall, now looking to circle in behind the bot lane of LYON.
Yeah, he is going to be back behind LYON's bot lane. Now is revealed. Berserker is going to have to try to get out of here. Isles might be the actual target. They are going to be looking for Isles. The heal's going to be popped early. The root going to be sidestepped. Isles will be okay. It cost them the heal, but it does bail out the FURIA bot lane a little bit. On the other side of the map, though, look where Inspired is, immediately going in. He was spotted by a ward, though, as he crossed through the river, so they pinged out that he was going to be on that blue buff. Doesn't look like anyone on FURIA is in a position to respond, though, because Tutsz is low, and he's going to flash in onto Saint. The ghost popped immediately. Saint is going to get solo killed. It's first blood there for Tutsz as he flashes in and takes down Saint as soon as that scatter was on cooldown.
The trade looks so good from Saint from the get-go, but Tutsz waiting for those cooldowns to come in. The flash forward and the auto attack to secure it. A massive win for the CB LOL in the mid lane.
That is really big, because like you said, it did feel like Saint really was ahead, but as soon as he's used that scatter, Tutsz says, this is my opportunity. You don't have any way to get away here. Even if you match the flash, I have the ghost. Chases him down, takes him out, and we can see Tatu is going to be spotted on this ward. Doesn't necessarily know that he is on vision here. Inspired, of course, aware that he is around, and he is quite ahead in the jungle right now after having stolen away some of those camps.
JoJo has moved up towards this mid lane as well, though, just to try and help out Tutsz a little bit. So if Saint does overextend, an opportunity to maybe fish for something here. But it looks like the reset is just going to come through. So we're kind of back to even Steven, because I was about to praise the early game for LYON. But you can see here, Tutsz ends up so low on the mid lane. Saint tries to step up for the trade, doesn't get the scat of the week. The immediate ghost. Tutsz smelled blood in the water and knew that he had it.
Yeah, that was really well played. I mean, if the scatter hits, he probably has him. But not only did the scatter miss, he flashed the W. So then there's no spells left. So just really well read there by Tutsz. And Saint you know, just didn't think that he would be looking for that aggressive positioning here. You can see this is that matchup between these two.
And I think this is where the most volatile, our volatility is going to be. Like, I think if you're Tatu, and even we saw JoJo roaming up, I think the focus is from FURIA, see if you can now punish the flashless Syndra in the mid lane. Still difficult enough because you do have that scatter of the week to try and buy space, but I would definitely be investing a lot of wards around this mid lane as Tatu already here. Tutsz, does he step up?
He might just do so, but he doesn't have flash or ghost, so it would kind of require an overextension from Saint. And Tatu spending a lot of time here. Well, Inspired is farming away. They do feel like they're pretty dedicated to trying to make this work, but Saint's spacing him well.
And that's the thing, despite, like, with the mid lane, little unfortunate for Lion, but the bot lane trade, it was, you know, heal that had already been invested on the opposite side to escape. You don't blow too much. And then it was Inspired who got the real big benefit by invading on that top side, been able to continue as clear, and that's what's really opened up the gold lead there. Plus it keeps Dhokla safe, like you just highlighted. Like, it's kind of like for Lion, good elsewhere, despite the mid lane going a bit awry.
Yeah, now it's going to be a fight in mid lane. This time the scatter does connect. Tutsz trying to kite it back. Inspired looking like he wants to finish him off. Saint goes forward, picks up the aggro on the tower. Might get killed by the minions. Very close. Will survive, though, and Inspired does clean up that kill. The cannon!
Oh, boy!
Oh, my God!
Saint was dancing with the devil there. That was very, very close to going down, but successful gank in the mid lane, kill going across to Inspired. And again, that was kind of the focus we said, like, this mid jungle can be so strong for Lion if they can try and play this, especially while Tutsz has no flash.
Yeah, exactly, and Saint had it all calculated. Got one question for you. Did he have more than 1 HP? He did.
He might have even had 2.
Exactly,
you know?
So he's got more than he needed. He had space to work with, Rob. Don't worry about it.
I'm glad you have the confidence there, because my heart was in my chest or in my throat there for a second. So.
Yeah, mate. In some of those situations, you just got to believe, you know? And Inspired takes his first base of the game after 6 minutes. So just got a big buy there. Had been super efficient. Tatu spent a lot of time trying to look for these plays, and this is kind of Inspired's MMO. He is going to be Mr. Efficiency. He will look for ganks if it does fit his pathing. He's not going to go out of his way if he doesn't need to, though, and as a result, he's 700 gold ahead and starting the dragon.
It's the levels that are, for me, like Tatu only just hit level 5 after clearing out his top camp there. Inspired already level 6, getting dragon, going to be able to go move back in towards his own jungle. And as you say, like, this is the version of Lion that I think is the scariest, where Inspired is getting to pick up the dragons, getting to play through his own jungle. But FURIA, they want to get active on this top side.
Oh, I don't know about this, though. A couple tower shots going on to Guigo. Dhokla has cleared out the wave. There's 4 members here top. We'll see if Dhokla can get out. You can see members moving up to try to help him. Dhokla going to be in some trouble, though. It does get rooted up, and he is going to get knocked down there by Tatu. Berserker is here to try to defend, but it is much too late. Lion loses another kill here.
Unfortunate there for Lion. Not quite able to make it happen, but still Inspired here. Trying to see if he can make something happen. Berserker stepping up, but I think, yeah, with too many members of FURIA here, they're just going to step away. So nicely done. FURIA able to get something on the board there for themselves.
Yep, good play. They move up towards that top side, but again, look where Inspired is. He is stealing away camps on the bot side. You send 4 top. He says, all right, I'll take your bot camps. And Berserker and Isles just playing up towards this top side, trying to fight for this Pixel Brush ward as JoJo takes the bad end of that trade and will lose his ward as a result.
So with the groups in just a few moments, I'm curious how both sides want to try and play this. Like, Berserker now going to be able to get push in that top side. And you do have Oz in the area as well. If you're going to start this up immediately, but Lion want to contest.
Yeah, we'll see. FURIA are first to the scene. Berserker needs to get down here if they want to contest. Saint now moving over with Inspired, as well as Isles, trying to take positioning, and it is just going to be one grub and out there for FURIA, so they're happy that they got what they came for. Lion going to be able to clean up 2 more, as Dhokla's just down on that bot side pushing, and has that Ocean Dragon, early Ocean Dragon, always going to feel really nice. Now the Realm Warp going to be coming in. Guigo trying to set it up here for Tutsz. The knockup is good, and Dhokla is gone. Another easy kill there as FURIA playing the map well.
And starting to pick up the pace, and if FURIA is able to do this, this is where they should be able to, again, kind of stop some of the side lane control that can come through from Dhokla, get into a position where they can contest these later dragons, and a huge amount of this has kind of come from Tutsz getting control of that mid lane early. Like, despite the early gank, he's still been able to get push and move into these side lanes now.
Has been doing a good job, got the solo kill early. Realm Warps down towards that bot side. This is what I'm talking about. FURIA play the map well. They start the grubs, they draw Lion up, they take their one grub, they back off, and then they use that tempo. Well, they know Lion is all sitting for those last two. They go bot, they kill off Dhokla again.
And I think that's been kind of the most impressive globe for this team. Like, when they were brought together, it was like, hey, these are all kind of mechanical gods. They are insanely good when it comes to hands, but it was kind of ThinkCard who brought them together and said, hey, we're going to teach you how to play the game, though, how to work in the macro. And that's been where they've grown the most over the last year, and you're starting to see the results. And now LYON, again, need to try and find these ways to slow down the pace of the game, but there is decent vision down for FURIA here. You can see a ton of wards over by the LYON's Krugs, in towards the LYON's jungle as well, just spotting out where Inspired is and what his pathing is going to be.
Exactly, and Inspired now does have his Sundered Sky, so finishing that first item here on the map, and will be looking to play around that power. Definitely someone to really try to utilize those item completions to their maximum. That is a couple plates available here if they can actually walk up and get an auto down. They should be able to probably on this next wave, and you can see Saint even cheating down towards that bot side, trying to get some vision down to protect their pushing bot lane.
Look at the trade that's happening, though. Immediately, Tutsz starts to move top as you get Inspired caught on that ward, so maybe looking for a play towards Dhokla, but he's reading this, backing away, does not want to get caught there. So much movement, and LYON starting to adapt to this faster pace from FURIA.
Yeah, they absolutely are, and it was a good call out. You know, Tutsz was definitely looking, didn't have the Realm Warp quite yet, so would have required Dhokla to overextend. He played respectfully, and now Tatu back up here with no one from LYON on that side of the map. Dhokla may just have to back off and give up some farm, give up some plates, which he'll survive, but it means he's falling behind this 1v1 because Guigo, after the kill on bot side, took some plates there. Now he's going to be able to knock down that Crystalline Overgrowth, but Inspired looking bot for Ayu. We'll see if he can find him. Going to decide to turn around onto JoJo, but there's just nothing there as they can't really close the gap. The curtain is going to get called here. As Ayu trying to throw some damage back onto Isles. Heal will be used. Isles should be fine. And they're just kind of denying a little bit of CS. They take down a couple of plates, push the bot lane back, and keep the gold even.
Yeah, so Berserker kind of coming out the best out of that situation, being able to avoid some of the getting some of the groups away from Ayu as Guigo looking for something top lane.
Yeah, but, pops the ulti. That was a bit ambitious. I mean, maybe if Dhokla did get hit by the ult, he could have made a play there, but at the end of the day, it's just kind of the ulti for nothing.
I was even going to say, under tower, I don't know if I want to stand there and just try and ramp up that slam, so definitely ambitious is the word for it. But still, I like that we're getting so much pressure. Like, we already know the rivalry that exists between CB LOL and LCS and how much it would mean for both sides to be able to take each other down. As we hop into a quick pause.
Yeah, Guigo testing the waters, realizes, it's not going to happen. But it is we will be getting things underway here relatively quickly. And I'll give you guys info as soon as I get anything more, but it looks like it is all okay. We are back into game, and things will resume for now at this very, very even state. Second Dragon is up, and Inspired is down in that area with LYON trying to get push in mid, looking for that setup around Dragon here. And their base timings are pretty good, so they're just trying to play in the face here of FURIA and take a little bit something more.
You have to be a little careful because you can see that Tutsz was considering roaming across there where they would have had that numbers advantage, but now opting back in towards this bottom side. You still have Guigo pushing top with no TP, whereas Dhokla does. So I think for FURIA, they kind of just need to give up on this Dragon with the numbers advantage that LYON potentially could have.
Yeah, especially because he used that ulti, that Sion ulti for that attempted dive. So would be hard for him to join even that way. So it does look like, as you say, FURIA will just have to give this up. They're getting push on bot side, though Tutsz will have to be careful after this Dragon goes down that they don't get collapsed on. And we're just kind of waiting to find out, what sort of soul will be available. Infernal, I would say, is probably the best for LYON, given that they're playing pretty poke heavy and it can't be Hextech. So we'll see what they roll.
Yeah, the poke and Infernal combo is not entirely fair all the times when you do see it come in. Still, I'm liking the way the FURIA are playing this. So they immediately pushed out bot with Tutsz, and now looking for a little bit of a later cross map as you have Isles up here trying to cover for Dhokla. But that's a lot of members of FURIA in this top lane. Yeah,
they are overloading the top side of the map. Their entire team is up here at this point. All 5 members coming from FURIA. You can see Saint quickly running out from base. LYON realize this is what is going on, so they are going to back off for now, but they would like to defend the tower if they can. Guigo taking a lot of damage. The unleashed power from Syndra just used to soften him up, and now the Ezreal ult comes across the map. And FURIA have been answered by this 4 thus far. No one is there to stop Berserker, so LYON answer the play with 1 less man and get the push in mid.
Yeah, you got a plate for Tutsz, but I think a lot more going across the Berserker there and the wave being lost too, so LYON going to be relatively happy with the way that they defended that one. But again, like, I love how active this early game is. Like, you've got so much, it's like a chess game, going back and forth with teams trying to cover on either side. And I think a huge amount of that has come down to some really clever vision control that we've seen from both sides. Like, LYON had that ward in the second bush there on that top lane to make sure they could spot out as FURIA were trying to make that play. We've got some deep wards that is enabling FURIA to try and look for answers as well. Everyone is just on this push-pull constantly.
It absolutely is true. Dhokla just trading back and forth. Has rushed the Serpent's Fang, obviously good against Sion, good against, you know, the Archangel's shield, good against the Karma shield, so pretty valuable here. And I think, you know, once you get ganked a couple times, you kind of realize you're not going to be winning the 1v1 that much anyway, so I think it makes sense to go a bit more for that utility instead of rushing something that is more for that 1v1 side lane.
Yeah, we started to see it more and more, and I do think the value for it is just absolutely insane. But with 20 seconds now until this Rift Herald spawns, an option here for LYON. They do have good push. They still have that TP for Dhokla, who, forced the flash away from Guigo. Not the start that you wanted here.
No, and there's the scatter going to be sidestepped by Tutsz. Guigo definitely taking over in that 1v1, has his first completed item, underneath Bear, has the steel caps, and he is kind of just turning into a brick wall here for Dhokla, who was not in hammer form, so couldn't knock back to actually interrupt that decimating smash, and as a result felt he had to flash or risk getting taken down. Inspired in the area here, LYON wanting to play for this Herald, and do have a pretty good setup for it, but FURIA do have 4 members, and they have the TP available on the Sion as well to join. They're going to go in onto Saint immediately. Nice immune of the flag and drag coming through. Tutsz going to pop the Ghost, chasing after Inspired, who is getting chunked very low, and they're not going to get a kill, but that might have earned them the Herald here, as it looks like we're seeing multiple members from LYON just going back for the base. Guigo going to flash in here. Dhokla is going to try to get out of dodge. We'll see if he can outplay it, looking for the sidesteps, running back and forth, trying to get some space here. The knockback is still not there. Dhokla can't avoid the decimating smash, and he's going to get knocked down and solo killed by Guigo. As on the other side of the map, FURIA starting up this Herald, will claim it. LYON's trying to see if they can actually keep them around here and maybe get an extended fight off the back of it, but they can't get anything, so FURIA win out on both sides.
FURIA insane win. The fact you get that kill for Guigo and you're able to force back LYON. I don't think they're going to follow up too heavily on JoJo here. Could be wrong, though.
JoJo is the target, gets hit by the flag and drag. Inspired doesn't have a lot of backup, but he's going to throw the ulti down onto Tatu. Just hops right out of there, no problem. Nice buffer on the flag and drag here, as the Deadly Flourish did come through on him Inspired, but won't get much of anything. LYON try to put on some pressure. Aren't able to really capitalize on it whatsoever. The game remains very close, though, with the only real advantage being those 2 dragons on LYON's side.
Yeah, Inspired didn't really have the follow-up there, but I think he was just hoping to burn some summoner spells before that next dragon spawns in a minute's time. So JoJo now not having the heal or that flash could be a potential target. But FURIA have been doing a good job of answering on these objective setups. Like, in that position, they end up forcing their way in towards River. LYON don't have their poke in the position that they want to, or the ability to just all in. So you end up finding that moment with a quick all in from Tatu to push them back. And now that's bought them the space they want for JoJo to start to step in towards River, start to get some vision control for this dragon that's about to spawn.
And they're kind of doing the LYON classic against LYON, where, you know, Inspired was famous for his teams just giving up dragons, playing cross map if they don't have the right setup, and FURIA has kind of been the one doing that, trying to play for gold, trying to play for these side lane kills when they can't actually contest the dragons. Has not gotten them a massive lead, but you can see LYON collapsing here potentially onto Tutsz, as we are watching Jayce down a couple levels briefly. We can check in on the Coinbase gold grind here. Guigo with a pretty significant advantage, up 1,400 in the 1v1, and is going to be going for a bit of an offensive build here, as he's not going to be staying full tank. Maybe just feels like, hey, I'm tanky enough, you have to fight through me, and if I go a little bit more aggressive, I can actually punish players that are trying to walk past me.
Yeah, especially because Jayce and Ezreal not exactly the biggest tank killers, but we've already got a bit of a scrap here for Tatu.
Yeah, Tatu going to have to use the immunity very early on the scatter. Guigo trying to create some space moving forward here as they reclaim space here in that river. Dhokla coming in from the side. Guigo's going to get sectioned off. They're looking for him. Pops the ulti, but cancels it very quickly. Wants to stay around for the fight. Isles on the side is taking a ton of damage from Ayu, and Isles is going to have to go back to base, you think. It sneaks in the shot. Jhin takes him down, and Tatu flashing in onto safe, but he's taken out by the curtain call. Beautifully played there from the Jhin. Inspired falls as well. Berserker is in trouble. Trying to take down Ayu. Uses the exhaust, shift to the side, does get a kill. Dhokla fighting against Guigo here, trying to survive. Berserker has fallen. and it is only Dhokla alive as FURIA will wipe LYON from the map here, taking him down. The question is, can they even get the dragon? I think the answer is no. So I feel like we're just going to be setting up for round 2, but that Jhin ult, Rob!
That was insane! The fact he managed to sneak past 2 of those shots to finish off members of LYON was beautiful, but I love the way Guigo played this, using the shield off the teleport to buy so much space for FURIA, get control, and then even as Inspired looks for the engage, using the ult to cancel the CC from Inspired so he can reposition and not be focused down. We just see it here. Really well orchestrated, and that buys the space for FURIA to step forward. You get that reposition from Tatu as well as he wraps around on towards the bottom side, and the shots from Ayu raining down perfectly. FURIA played this fight exceptionally well.
Yeah, I mean, that was great. Tatu, built so much space there for Ayu, who almost is able to win out on this 1v1. Was really well played by Berserker, though. Gets the exhaust down, shifts to the side to be able to avoid JoJo, who's trying to block those mystic shots, but you can see a little bit of frustration there on the face of Berserker. So misplaced in that team fight for sure. You would have wanted someone to block both those Jhin shots that got kills. Maybe those LYON players could have actually survived and looked to try to turn around, but we're setting up here once again, and it is going to be FURIA claiming the dragon, as this time LYON just playing for sides.
I thought LYON might have actually taken the fight because they burned so many flashes on FURIA's side in the last fight that suddenly Inspired has a lot more targets. Same for Saint with the scan of the week, but instead just opting to go towards those side lanes, try and get some standing gold, and hope that they can live to fight another day.
It was kind of the gold lead for Ayu now. That has completely eliminated the lead that Berserker did have. Dhokla got some gold back, and Inspired still staying ahead. Still quite a close game, but it is now a significant gold lead that has been opened up from FURIA, as they have just been winning most of the scraps. It is 9-3 in kills. Still that one dragon lead here for LYON, so it is anyone's game as Tutsz battling here against Dhokla is just going to realm warp out to safety. Didn't feel confident that he could win the 1v1 and just decides to back off.
Yeah, I think also unsure as to where the rest of LYON were, so just going to step away from that one. But again, I think FURIA in a position where they can start to just push outside lanes. You've got Tutsz, I think, who's going to back and finish off a second item here as well. So in a relatively good spot. And it's LYON now who are trying to see if they can get some deep vision on towards this top side. Look for a play towards this low health turret mid. But you've got so much wave clear between JoJo and Ayu, that is going to be a difficult one to try and take easily.
Absolutely is. Saint now picking up that rocket belt, so prioritizing a little bit of mobility. He has been the target, it feels like, in a lot of these scraps. Tatu always going straight for him. As Inspired going in, Tatu in trouble, gonna pop Call of the Pack. The root is there, the Jhin ult is popped, Inspired has got to run, but can he survive? He's shot out of the air. It's duck hunt here for Ayu as they want even more. Isles is going back in, Saint over the side, hits the scatter, but the Karma shields just say no, and another deadly flourish is gonna connect. Ayu is on fire. This man can't miss.
Oh, it's a pause as well! Absolutely insane! FURIA, take him!
It appears to have been fixed. And we are going to be starting things up, and they're going to be right in onto the Baron as FURIA win a big team fight over by the Baron. It's post 20 minutes, and that is going to give them a stranglehold on this game. Dragon's not going to mean much of anything, as Dhokla going to try to get some gold back on the other side of the map, but LYON with this comp, when you fall behind, you just don't have enough damage to actually get those initial kills, and it feels like this game is quickly slipping out of their grasp.
It's also so hard to try and retake space with this composition as well. Like, you're heavily reliant on Inspired, but we just saw he's not really tanky enough to try and survive with this. But we'll see on the replay here to keep your eyes on Inspired as he tries to hit the blast cone, because he ends up hitting one of the dogs from Naafiri here instead, so doesn't get the blast cone immediately. Well, lets Ayu get the shot, and then it's the follow-up as well with Guigo coming in. Isles tries to set up for a play with Saint, but there just isn't enough damage. The shield is there, Saint can't get into position, and I mean, you called it, Ayu just does not miss in this game.
I mean, he is hitting absolutely everything. It was great setup, Room Prison into the Deadly Flourish, they burst him down, and Inspired just wasn't expecting that collapse so quickly, and then even though Isles got in onto Ayu, Saint followed up with a scatter, but he wasn't in range for the ult, so it doesn't actually really matter whatsoever. It is now a 3.5k gold lead here for FURIA. LYON gonna have to try to find some big plays. They're looking now. Isles goes in onto Ayu. Ayu's in trouble. It's a great McHale from JoJo, but it is not enough. Dhokla will fall. In comes Inspired. They're looking for more. Call of the Pack gonna get popped here as Tutsz is gonna arrive with the Realm Warp. Berserker goes straight on him. He has the exhaust. He wants the fight. The scatter is gonna land. Tutsz is in a lot of trouble here, but the shield's coming in from JoJo. He's gonna have to flash out, but here's Inspired, and LYON are on the hunt. The flash is forced. Tutsz and JoJo barely survive, but they get some kills and they get some much-needed summoners off of FURIA here, as LYON get their first kill in a long time.
Yeah, they get the mid lane tower as well, but because Guigo wasn't there, he gets the push in that bottom side and manages to take the tier 2 tower for himself. This Death's Dance Sion starting to get a little bit of gold into him as well. So yes, LYON did get the kills. They do burn some summoner spells, but I think it's how do they now, with those summoner spells down on FURIA, try to bounce back in this fight for Dragon in a minute's time?
Yeah, that's the real question. I mean, Isles will have his flash desynced from some of those players, you know, but once his flash is up, if you can make a quick play, maybe you can get something there. Obviously won't be available for this Dragon though. And the Death Dance, as you called out, very interesting tech. I've never really seen that. Usually if people are going to go aggressive, they're going to go towards Titanic, they're going to go towards Bloodmail, you know, these types of HP-based offensive items, but it is a pretty low DPS comp here, and Guigo just feels like this is the play, so we'll see if it does work out for him. As LYON getting sieged on, losing towers left, right, and center, it feels like, as Berserker trying to clear out these Baron minions, but it's a difficult job for an Ezreal.
Yeah, I don't think there's much push that you can get here for LYON, and with that Dragon now, just a couple of seconds time, it looks like we're getting LYON just saying, nope, not interested. We're going to go for the side lanes instead, try and push out, try and probably establish some vision in this top side jungle and steal away some of those camps that are about to respawn.
It's pretty terrifying now as Ayu has the Infinity Edge completed. This guy has the biggest gold lead in the game by quite a lot, and has been really playing well in these 5v5s, and now that Jhin damage is going to get ramped up massively with that Infinity Edge. Berserker still reasonably strong, you know, Saint within striking distance of Tutsz, and Dhokla just trying to play side lanes as well as he can to continue getting gold. LYON know they just need to keep themselves at least within striking distance so that if you find a good fight, you have a chance.
Yeah, and I think it is kind of going for these plays that we just saw where LYON like try and push inside and immediately collapse onto mid lane. If you can try and find those picks and find those quick plays, that's where I think you can start to buy back the space that you need to find these bigger fights. But at the moment, FURIA doing a good job of kind of advancing as a line across the map, not giving those moments where LYON can find those quick picks.
See Saint level 15, of course, is going to be down a level thanks to that Roa there for Tutsz, who has a little bit of experience on top. Once Saint is, you know, level 16, that is going to be nice, and once he got all his abilities upgraded, that is really helpful as well. So I think they're trying to play for Saint having 3 items, having 16, you know, play around that potential high burst that he can look for as Berserker completes the LDR. Third item's really starting to come in across the map.
Yeah, I do think, though, this Guigo is just such a monster at this stage. 3 items completed. I think he 1v1s basically anyone that ends up in a side lane against him. So it is going to be difficult for LYON to try and keep this Sion in check. And especially, it's kind of shut down some of that side lane pressure that you'd expected Jayce to really have up against the Sion at this stage, where he can just continue to shove in these waves and create another point of pressure for FURIA.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. As Guigo just ults out on the map there. Just a tempo ult, getting things moving. Saint spot sits on the side, but JoJo is there to cover, it feels like, every time. They're doing a good job playing the map here. You can see they move up, they create this line of vision for Tutsz to feel safe. They have multiple pink wards on this top side. They have that one deep ward, and LYON are trying to combat this as best as they can, but that is, you know, another difficulty for Dhokla, who's been tasked with pushing out these side waves, is where is their vision? It's all on their side of the map.
But I think it's like, you do see FURIA are just advancing literally as a line. Like, we're getting this where it's just like, okay, cool, we're going to set ourselves up with here. Nobody break that line. Okay, we've got our vision controlled in now. Slowly move up a little bit more and make sure that you're able to look for plays.
Exactly, and it's really smart, you know, just step 1, step 2, they are playing it by the book. And this is what I talk about when I feel like people are underestimating FURIA. They're coming in, they're looking at CP LOL as, all right, well, that's a free win. It is not true. It is not true whatsoever. This team can play the map, they can play the fights. They are a team to be respected, and they are showcasing that here. As Ayu gonna have his 4th item by the time we get to this next fight, you have to think. And this guy is going to be a beast. People talk about Jhin being, you know, low consistent damage, but when you get to like full builds,
yeah, you get
so much AD that all of a sudden, you know, 1 4 shot and someone just kind of dies.
And also, who's tanking that? Like, on the opposite side, you don't really have anyone who's going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, I can take all this damage from the Jhin, or even from Tutsz as well. Lee's working up towards that actualizer, won't have this towards this next fight, but still in a very good spot as he looks towards scaling. So I do think for LYON, they need to find these windows to punish FURIA, but FURIA are just not giving it to them.
Yeah, they absolutely are not. Saint has reached 16, has the components for the death cap, but does not have the death cap, and FURIA are on the Baron here. Tatu and JoJo just trying to zone them away. This has been spotted out by LYON. We'll see if FURIA want to commit to it. It's down a bit below half HP as FURIA trying to turn. The curtains get called. Saint immediately flashes over as Guigo's ulting into the back line, chasing after Berserker and Isles. Isles is caught and Isles is dead. Can't get anything off. The scatter going to land there onto Guigo, but he gets shielded up. The Deadly Flourish this time will not arrive. The Realm Warp comes in. Inspired's looking for him, but Inspired's going to get knocked up. He's in trouble as Saint on the side gets killed by Tatu. Inspired has to run, and LYON's got to get out of there. JoJo flashing back, pops the heal. It's 2 for 0, though, for FURIA as they'll go right back to the Baron. Another beautifully played fight.
LYON are the prey here for FURIA, and they are happy to catch some of them. The immediate turn off to Baron, the Realm Warp in to seal the deal, but the TP from Dhokla. I don't know if you can do particularly much here, as Tutsz is going to find him.
Going to try to delay. Tatu over the wall, though. Tutsz there as well. The exhaust going to be used by Berserker. Tutsz is in some trouble. Inspired arrives. The Baron is still alive, but now FURIA is in trouble. Have they gone too far? Isles catches JoJo, and this could be bad for FURIA, but thankfully they've taken down Berserker and Dokes. So it will just be a prevention of that Baron take, but not one for LYON themselves. Their pings onto the Dragon, though.
It's prevention with a flare. I mean, the fact you managed to get so many kills after that, and now you get position the Dragon, is huge from the turnaround. This is the initial engage, where Guigo immediately pulls the trigger. You already have the curtain call. Oz gets caught out. And then again, like FURIA reform around this front line of Guigo. As everyone from LYON starts to move in, the Realm Warp comes through, and the dash away from both members to make sure that they're not going to get caught by the knockup from Inspired means that they're able to finish off some of these members. But this re-engage, I thought it was going to be done and dusted as on live. Tatu just able to escape, but yeah, they end up going over the wall to try and finish off Dhokla. The max health shield doing a lot of work to keep him alive for a long time until Inspired gets there, the rest of the team shows up, and there's good damage there from him.
Yeah, I mean, Isles does find that big ulti. Ayu had been playing an incredible game, but flashed too far, does get punished for it, and Tatu looking to try to set up for this 50-50 smite. Inspired wants to push him out. Guigo is in the pit. It's going to be taken there by Tatu. Gets another smite, and now Inspired's in trouble. The Realm Warp's coming in. There's the big Cataclysm as Berserker gets pushed back. Saint is running for the hills. They do take down Tatu. One-man advantage for now, but Berserker can't rejoin the fight, and that means LYON don't have the DPS to go for more.
Low health bars online, but they manage to escape away. It's only Tatu who falls, but does steal away that Dragon. So keeping that Dragon in favor of FURIA now. But this is so close. Every fight feels like it's fisticuffs and haymakers the whole time.
It is crazy. Saint has got to be on that death cap soon. There is the completion now coming through. Berserker trying to get towards his 4th item as Ayu's working on a 5th. It's close as far as the gold is concerned. And this 50-50 could mean a lot because it put them on soul point.
Yeah, I mean, you see the steal coming through here. The curtain call opens up to try and force the rest of LYON away, buying the space. But the steal there for Tatu is massive. And it's the follow-up fight that I thought was going to go well because his Inspired ends up so low here, but the rest of FURIA just cannot follow up. Tatu tries to escape but ends up getting chased down thanks to a nice hit from Inspired, and the rest of LYON are able to back away without falling as well.
And Isles stuck a really nice route through onto Tatu right before he got into the Call of the Pack, so I think he thought he'd be able to hit the Call of the Pack, jump away, create that safety, but he was rooted up there by Isles as LYON looking for more. Tatu jumps away from the engage, but in comes Guigo with the teleport. Will LYON commit to the fight? For now, they're going to back off, but the Sion says, no, you cannot do that. And it is Inspired being caught. Flag and drag back through. Tutsz on the side could be in trouble. It's a big ulti from Isles. It's Tutsz standing. It's Tutsz fighting. And it's Tutsz winning for now. Into the GA goes Inspired. Berserker on the side trying to take down Guigo, but Guigo is so damn tanky. Finally, though, the Baron gets aggro, and it's going to be the 6th man and help out LYON. Ayu calls the curtains, looking for Isles. Isles will fall. Berserker takes the 4th shot, almost just dies from full with a fist to the back of the head there from Sion. It's another bloody fight here, 2 for 2 at the end of the day.
What is happening, Azael? These fights look like they're kicking off so well for either side as we get LYON with a good engage on towards the Ryze. But Tutsz does so much damage thanks to that actualizer. And even here, as this fight comes through, Inspired does a good job tanking up Guigo, buying the space he needs, flag and drag away. But I thought this Ryze was dead. But with Tatu able to just get in there, finish off Inspired, and that actualizer damage doing so much work, Tutsz managed to stay alive. Guigo gets focused down afterwards, and it's this constant in and out that Inspired is playing that is just buying space, managing to go away on a low health bar that keeps these fights in check. But it is bedlam every time.
I mean, it is crazy. And like you talked about, there's no one to block the Jhin shots.
No.
Isles was pretty heavy on health, took 2 shots, and then just died to the Deathfire
regretted
touch.
it immediately.
He just completely gets knocked down, but you kind of just have to sacrifice your life in that position here. Berserker has completed the Shojin, though, so getting a lot stronger as Ayu now on that 5 items here. And the Actualizer, you know, amping up your shields as well. So you had the Archangel shield. He had all of the shields coming through from JoJo. So much protection meant that Tutsz just took too long to kill. And this is the time of the game that I was talking about in draft. When Ryze gets Zhonya's next, good luck being able to burst this guy down. He's going to be playing in your face. Tatu can be able to immune that Syndra ult there, obviously with Call of the Pack. You can have Zhonya's to immune it. It's very difficult to get to Ayu, so it is not easy, but LYON are fishing here.
We go on the bottom side, though. Look for the engage on Dhokla with that ultimate. Seeing if he can get the 1v1 once again.
I mean, he's winning that 1v1 heavily. Now they're going to try to TP in and back up Dhokla. Dhokla is going to get that assistance here. We'll see if they can actually make the play happen as they do arrive. But Ayu is here as well. Ayu flashes in and deletes Saint. And now the curtain's getting called. Good sidesteps here from Dhokla, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He is slowed down on the other side of the map. FURIA starting up the Baron will be pushed back, but it's 5 versus 3 on the map. And when is the last time you saw the Jhin assassinating the Syndra as Inspired is going to try his luck, flashes in, gets a 1k shutdown. The healing is huge. That just might buy them some time to stay alive. But LYON just looking to go bot lane and play for the map because they cannot stop this Baron whatsoever.
The outplay from Fury in the bottom side with Ayu showing up, managing to get the kill, sets up for the Baron, and it feels like LYON is scrambling a little bit to try and cover for it.
They absolutely are, but one big thing, Inspired getting down there kills Ayu, and Ayu dies last. So Ayu is not going to be up for this dragon spawn. So maybe we could see LYON go and just try to rush down that dragon. I think that is going to be the idea. Rush down the dragon, deny the soul, bring yourself the soul point, and then try to delay. But Isles out on the map. Isles is going to get caught. He is trying to get vision, and Isles might just give away a freebie, and he does. That is devastating for LYON because now that kill on Ayu means nothing. And they're going to lose soul as well.
And I was about to say, Inspired got the shutdown on Ayu as well. Immediately gets a Hex Drinker, which means he's able to play a little bit further up in these fights. He's trying to look for the steal.
Gets knocked out of the flag and drag, trying to pull back. Berserker is here, Saint is here, Dhokla is here. They're going to try to punish Guigo, but he is so tanky. Inspired goes forward, looking for Tatu. Eyes on the dragon now. It's going to come down to the smite fight. Can Tatu get it once again? He's going for it, and he gets it! It's the soul, but it's a kill on the other side. Tutsz trying to make a big play here. Inspired blocking the shots. Berserker shifts forward. Tutsz goes into the Zhonyas, but he's taken down. Ayu knocked up by Inspired. Inspired and Berserker are fighting, and on the other side, Saint is running for his life against this Sion. He's got to get out of there. Guigo was the target at the start of the fight, and he is just never going to die. Berserker shifting away. They're trying to whittle him down. Isles is back now. Tatu needs to get over there and help him out. Saint is low, but he goes into the stasis. Isles with the Pop Blossom. It gets immune by the Call of the Pack. Berserker shifts away, trying to survive. They're going to get the kill, and still, Guigo cannot take down Saint. Guigo running for his life now, trying to go for the recall. It will not be allowed. LYON standing, LYON fighting, and LYON finally gonna take down this raid boss, you have to think, but Guigo refuses to die. This man better drop some good loot. LYON get the delayed ace and hold on in this game.
Oh my god, these fights are absurd! Berserker played out of his mind at the end of this one, but we have to go back to the start. It's Tatu who ends up once again getting the spike, because at the start of this, it's no members of FURIA are really in position to follow up. You're waiting on the Ryze and the Jhin to come through, and as they do, that's where they start to win this out versus LYON. But it's then Berserker who plays this perfectly from this point on, chasing down on towards Ayu with Inspired. And as he ends up fighting against Guigo, look at the minute details here. Ends up repositioning away from that auto. And then as Guigo starts to try and run at him again, he repositions once more at the perfect moment. He kited that so perfectly to help close it out.
Brilliant play there from Berserker in the MasterCard priceless moment of the game. And now LYON full court press here. They're out on the map trying to deal some damage. They knock down the mid tier 2, looking for the top tier 2, which is very, very low. This game is sole in the favor of FURIA. but it is dead even in gold, and there are so many squishy members, so much damage, that Soul is not a guarantee.
No, not at all. Like, this is crazy. And LYON, now with the position that they have and the tempo advantage they have, can actually start to set up for vision, can try and play their style of fishing for picks, fishing for that poke, and making FURIA hurt to try and take back space on the map. You see how dark it is right now on that bottom side.
Ayu has reached his full 7-item build here. Berserker is strong, but they're going to look for Ayu, and Ayu has no flash. He's caught out in mid lane, and Ayu is down. And that is a big-time pick for LYON. No hesitation. They immediately sprint towards mid, and Ryze has got to get back to base.
Can LYON actually do it? They will at least try and crack the base here as they push in. The wave clear from Tutsz has to be enough, but the tower is not sticking around for long.
The tower is dying fast, but Inspired is tanking it up, and Inspired could be in some trouble. Guigo gonna get targeted. Isles goes forward, and he catches Tutsz, and Tutsz is just gone! Control, Alt, Delete, says Saint as he knocks down the Ryze, who has been in a thorn in his side all game long. We'll see, though, 3 members strong here from FURIA trying to hold on. That is a tanky sign as Inspired moving in, gets the knock-up onto JoJo. It's eyes on the tower. We do see him coming back in the GA. Dhokla's arrived with a teleport. They don't have a wave. I don't know if they can finish. Did LYON go too far? They're so damn tanky on the side of FURIA. They're trying to make it happen, but the Jhin is almost back. Tatu is low, but he goes into the call of the pack, and LYON have got to run for it. The Jhin is back up, and the question is now, can they get away? It looks like the answer is yes, but what an insane game. LYON thought they had an angle to end, but they could not get through the brick wall that is the Sion.
Guigo TPing onto the tower to get that max health shield was crucial to being able to survive, and Inspired thought he might have been able to buy enough space going in, but couldn't quite do it. But now it's 50 seconds until Baron. You get a reset, but maybe not Dhokla, who's forced to flash away.
Flash follow there from Guigo. Dhokla stayed around, and Dhokla may have just cost LYON big time. Stayed for a red buff, and the cost is his life and potentially the Baron as well. That is such a mistake, and he doesn't even have a completed item off the back of it.
That's heartbreaking for LYON. They just done so much work to get themselves into a strong position. Now in a 4v5, they need to try and find a way to fight this Baron, but Dhokla was so much of that damage.
I think they're just going to have to give. I don't think you can risk the game in a 4v5. You've got to give the Baron and look to try to play towards the Elder, unless you can maybe get a pick before. But it's so risky, and what a bad death for the 10th one of the game there from Dhokla.
Inspired's going bot lane. Looks like LYON are going to give it up.
Yep.
Curious though, because what we saw a lot from LYON in finals was, hey, you know, push out that wave bot, especially for Inspired, and then hide in the enemy jungle, try and look for these big flanks towards Dragon. Maybe the call here once again for LYON, because they need some magic if they hope to beat out on this Elder Dragon.
We have now crossed 41-16, which means it is now the longest game of MSI 2026, passing G2 versus TES in that one. LYON over early by this Elder. This is where the game will be decided, almost guaranteed one way or the other. The Elder going to be incredibly difficult to deal with. Dhokla back on the map. Remember, he will have no flash. Neither will Guigo. Inspired also missing his flash and GA, so more resources available for FURIA.
Yeah, especially with the Zhonya's completed for Tutsz. That was kind of the big crossing point you were talking about, Azael. And now FURIA stepping up as a unit, retaking the space. LYON trying to see if they can get that poke down, but you can see Guigo, he's more than happy to just tank that one up at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely is. There's the Mantra shields coming out. Tatu jumping over. The scatter does not connect in onto him. Tutsz
oh my God!
Mid lane, and Berserker just loses half his health there to a 4th shot coming through from Ayu, and now they're going to pull the Elder. Berserker trying to heal up a little bit on the side. Inspired there, shift forward from Berserker. This game is on a knife's edge. It will all be decided here. Dhokla looking for that poke, but hasn't really able to find much of anything. Inspired, Berserker, and Saint over by the pit. You can see Isles is wrapping around the back of the Dragon, looking for a potential angle as the curtain is going to get called here. Inspired tanking up 1, Inspired tanking up 2. How many more shots can he take, though? If you eat that 4 shot, you're going to be going low. And he is, in fact, down to half health. Berserker shifting forward, just trying to get as much poke as they can, as Guigo's going to go for it. Guigo goes in, but it gets blocked by the clone. Inspired knocked up, Tutsz and Tatu on the side. This Dragon is low, it's been Tutsz winning it, but this time it's Saint! And the fight breaks out, and there it is. Isles with the Bomb Blossom. That might just seal it, but Tutsz on the side trying to make something happen. Berserker shifts in, but the Realm Orb saves him. LYON are on the hunt, and FURIA run for the hills, inspired. Miss smite after smite as Tatu is winning out, but the one that matters most is the one he takes. LYON looking for JoJo. Good sidestep, will stay alive, but this time it's a 2v5. They held with 3. Can they hold with 2? Not looking like they're going to be able to, as Isles going forward, lands the root. Dhokla jumps in. Tutsz is going to stand. Tutsz is going to fight, and he's going to get a free kill. A good start to it. Potential defense here on the line as Tutsz moving forward, looking for Inspired. But their eyes are just on the towers. The towers are gone. The Nexus is exposed. Berserker shifts in and seals the deal with a kill. Berserker goes on a rampage, and a wild game 1 came down to a smite that neither jungler took. Saint claims the Elder, and that's what makes the difference. What a way to kick off the series.
A Sainthood is definitely waiting for the mid laner of LYON back in NA, but we're going to kick it over to the analyst desk, because what the hell was that?
The Americas.
I didn't hear no bell.